Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, Robots in Disguise fans, and welcome to another episode of AFTERBUZZ TV's Robots in Disguise After Show. For the Disney fans in the audience, you can probably recognize what we're opening up to. And for those of you who haven't been, it's the Haunted Mansion. Because I figure that's totally appropriate. Because we are covering episode 15, Even Robots Have Nightmares. Which, that's a great title to walk into.
It is a great title to walk into.
So, joining me on the panel today, we have Alexis the Wrecker Torres.
You can find me on, no, just kidding. You can find me all over the interwebs as atorres890, and also, fun fact, I have never been to Disneyland, so I don't know.
Ever?
I went, I think when I was 3, but I can't remember anything.
Oh,
so
man.
Whenever I go, it'll be like my first experience.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
I have to get
that
someone to
Hatbox
sign you
Ghost is
in.
back.
Yeah. It's funny because I've seen the ride on the internet.
Right, of course.
Gotta love the internet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speedster Emma Fyffe.
Hello, you can find me on Twitter at Emma Fyffe. And thank you so much to Sound Drive Rights, who says that their sister is a big fan of mine.
Yay! Michelle the Minicon Cullen.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Michelle Cullen. I'm filling in for Megan the Menguin Salinas. You can find me on my recently created Twitter, which is Michelle_Cullen, because it's super creative.
And I am Katie Kia Prime Cullen. You can find me on Twitter at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. Lord Megantron is not with us today. She's out doing a soul-searching hike somewhere in the Badlands of Cybertron.
I knew it.
We're not sure when she'll be back, but
she will.
It'll happen.
Yeah, probably anyway.
It's unconfirmed at this point.
Exactly.
So, what did we think of this episode?
I have to tell you, I love this trope, this, format where basically it's something that we would see a lot, I feel like, in 90s cartoon shows where there was always an episode where everybody ended up in a haunted house or something like that. And that was basically what this episode was the equivalent of. So I went into it immediately being 100% on board, and I was not disappointed. I really enjoyed it.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, because I was sitting there going, I feel like I'm back in Saturday morning cartoons with a bowl of cereal, Reese's Puffs, and just, sitting there going crazy. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved this episode.
Can you still get Reese's Puffs?
You can.
You can.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Oreo O's that have gone the way of the donut.
Yeah, but I actually got the French toast, cinnamon toast.
It's
I
back.
brought that back.
Important. That's just my 90s love.
Important back.
I enjoyed this episode a lot. I do have to
Yeah.
say I didn't enjoy it as much as last week's, but last week set a super high bar.
That's also
No,
true.
yeah, I would agree. Last week's episode was exceptional, but this week was really good, and I didn't feel that we devolved into some of the things we sometimes see happening in these episodes that are frustrating. Like, this still felt like, okay, this could happen after the last episode.
And it understood, it had a sense of drama. It knew how to balance it with levity. This episode was very well put together. And it was nice to see Denny and Russell back and interacting. And we got the whole team back together on this
I know,
one.
and it's gonna be great. And also, I was mentioning to these guys earlier that I accidentally saw the episode after this one. And all I'm gonna say is the creepy doesn't stop.
Alexis, you rule breaker.
I thought I was watching the right one, and I was like, oh no, go back. But no, seriously,
nope.
Yeah, it was just a lot of just backspace. But no, I like that this episode, and when you guys see the next episode, they really work together, and it just blew my mind.
Oh, good, because we definitely got one thing in this episode that was like, okay, tell me more.
Oh, the next con is going to be the thing of your nightmares. Like, I'm so excited.
I don't know. We've already had Legion of Spiders,
No,
and
this
that's the
one's-
thing
yeah.
of my nightmares.
No,
Yeah.
this one definitely topped Legion of Spiders for me.
Really?
Well, we'll just have to wait till next
I know. I'm just excited.
No spoilers, Alexis. Come
Some of us
on.
watch them when they air.
I know. I'm I'm just saying I'm super excited. But the one thing I did like was just the fact of, one, Grimlock was hysterical this episode.
Yeah, there's a reason I brought a little cat on the table. Yeah, I brought my Grimlock, and I brought this little calico cat thing that I got in Japan. Because
I feel like he should be
Grimlock,
facing like that way.
like running away.
Yeah, running away.
I just wish we can put his like hands all the way up because I love his little scared like. It's
so
adorable.
we start this episode with Russell feeding the cutest cat known to man.
So cute. It looked like the littlest pet shop cat.
did.
It was so cute.
You know that was the point.
I mean, that's also Hasbro. Yeah.
I think
We
as
have
soon as
little girls who watch this show, right?
Yeah.
I think as soon as we saw it, we were both like, "Aww, kitty."
And it was doing the little. I'm like, yes. And evidently Grimlock is scared of domesticated earth animals and quote, doesn't do cute.
Yes.
Doesn't
Though
do
we didn't
cute.
actually find that out until later when he was. We didn't find out it was specifically that he was scared until later when he was hallucinating.
That's
In that
true.
moment, it was just like, I don't know, Grimlock doesn't like cats for some reason. It's weird. But then we find out later that he is terrified
you know,
of them.
some people have no taste. I just adopted a cat, so I'm kind of doing the whole possessive thing right now.
See, that's why Grimlock is my favorite because I've actually always had a hard time with cats growing up. So I'm always my family's just a dog person. So just I mean I'm not like deathly afraid of them, but I totally have that moment where like if a cat just hisses, I'm like, run away.
Well, at that point, the cat's already angry.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
one was happy to be there.
Oh, so
Yeah.
adorable. I loved
He
his
just wanted to be friends.
I know, especially with him hanging off a tree and whatnot.
Yeah,
It's just adorable.
that was the worst place to run to. Cats climb trees.
Yeah.
It's just
Well, and it's Grimlock,
Yeah.
and he's bigger than the tree in question.
Yeah.
So it's not.
I would like to
Anyway,
bring up that while we're on the topic of cats, that Omega Wave Renegade in the chat says that he or she, I'm sorry, I don't know if you're a boy or a girl, remembers that somebody said that the Cybertronians didn't like cats because things with big eyes remind them of scraplets. So they're basically justifying why Grimlock is afraid of cats.
Michael.
I don't know, but everybody else in the chat seems to agree. They're like, oh yeah, totally, I heard that too. So I'm just gonna roll with it.
Okay,
Right.
will someone in the chat roll please? Okay, someone in the chat roll please put a link on Twitter because
Yeah.
we can actually
Please,
see
yeah.
Twitter comments, but the chat roll disappears
Yeah,
into
it goes
the ether
fast.
once it's posted. So
goes
use
fast.
use the Twitter hashtag ABTVRID. I am checking the hashtag.
I am
if
also
you
checking the
yay, so many hashtag monitors. So if you have something fun to say, if you got a question or a comment, throw it in there. You may well get a shout out. Same with the live chat as we've already seen. But yeah, no, seriously, if anyone has the link for that, please put it on Twitter because
Yeah, I want to read it.
that I
To
want to
read it.
see.
Yes.
Yeah, so we turn into a horror movie night.
That was
And I have
awesome.
to say that I love the bots reacting to human culture.
It was so great.
Yes.
I mean, oh my
'Cause
gosh.
last time we had, Sons of Anarchy, Road Warrior, whatever the heck
Yeah,
it was,
whatever they
the
were
motorcycle
watching.
gang. And this time we have a horror movie and Russell laying down that I don't get scared. Like,
Yes.
that's going to come back around before the end of the episode. That is
anytime anyone says that,
Chekhov's
comes
bravado.
around.
Yep, it all goes around. I did like Sideswipe's
dang
comment
it.
during the
You took what
movie
I was gonna
where
She's
well
been
then
screaming for 10
you
minutes straight. Doesn't she ever stop to breathe?
That's the funny thing is I think that every single time I'm like, did she take a breath? What are we on a loop? Like what's happening?
Yeah.
We're on a loop.
It was funny how they called out like real world horror movie tropes in the process of this, and then of course later when all of the bots band together to try to scare Russell because he's so adamant about the fact
my
that he doesn't
word,
get
that's
scared,
so
and
funny.
Grimlock dresses as Leatherface.
Yeah, and I was like, is that a tie?
It's part
Like, what's happening?
it's actually part Jason too with
Yeah.
the burlap sack.
Yeah.
You know, it's just,
And I kind of thought, just based on the tie colors, that it was a little tribute to Freddy Krueger, like just
Yeah.
trying to tie
Yeah.
it all in.
I was like, just throw
That's
whatever
for
in
Megan.
oh, he tied.
Boo.
So watching this with Megan and her being like, and this is like this horror icon because this, and it's like
Yeah.
Leatherface
Yeah.
because the apron,
She
it's
knew
like
it all.
Jason because this. And I'm like, do you want me to pause this so you can end it before we move on?
That's
But
adorable.
it's great. And yeah, watching them try to prank Russell and
Right?
Strong Arm had the right idea.
Yeah.
But watching Sideswipe come up as a zombie and I'm just like, Dark Energon, oh god.
It was a
Like,
it was
I
a
know
little
you're
too
messing
real.
with it, but if you've seen Prime and lived through all of that,
Yeah.
it's like this is not okay. I am
Yeah.
not ready to go back into zombie territory. That
Oh,
nope,
that was so
nope.
creepy. I wasn't ready for that. But I also just loved how even though Strong Arm was in the dirt and she looked like she was chopped up into pieces, you could see the divots where
I
she
know.
was. Yeah. Like,
My favorite part of the whole thing was though when Grimlock forgot the plan. when he sees Sideswipe and not Sideswipe, Strong Arm, when she's all buried underneath the rubble and she's acting as if she has been chopped into pieces. And so Grim is approaching her and he's trying
through the axe.
I know, and he's trying to do the whole like multiple horror icon thing, but he sees her and he's like, Strong Arm! Oh no! What happened?
It was a prank.
I literally like face palmed. I was just like,
Side moment that I had is, where did the giant axe come from? I feel
The local Paul Bunyan exhibit on the road.
It's just
someone
there
turned
it
it
is.
in.
I was gonna say, I actually didn't question any of the costume pieces because who knows what Denny has in that
so true.
scrapyard.
That's true.
I mean, he's got weird beaver, squirrel, unclear statues. Like, I'm sure he has some giant axes somewhere too.
Where was that?
In the first episode,
I missed
the
that
like
completely.
squirrel beaver creatures that
Underbite's
Underbite
favorite.
wanted to eat.
That's right. I forgot
So
now.
he eats the squirrel and things that I cannot say with a straight face.
Yep.
Even how many months later? Like 4?
Yeah.
And then we have the missing piece of Legion of Spiders show
Yes!
up. Chop
Yes.
Chop finally comes back around.
That was awesome,
and
by the way.
immediately gets wiped out by an unseen con because, why not?
Why not?
Why
It
not?
was perfect.
And we talked about this a bit, talking about Night Strike and how he sees things. We were trying to figure out, how does he track people? Is it motion? Is it... And given what we see from his point of view, I honestly think he tracks Energon signatures.
Yeah, I think
which
so
would be
too.
why he picked up one piece of Chop Chop and not everyone
Yep.
in the stasis pod. 'cause
Exactly.
they wouldn't pick up on the signature if they're in the stasis pod.
Totally. And I mean, we see from that character as well that his sonar attack only affects other bots. Like it doesn't affect humans.
Yeah.
So I think that is a very logical theory, Katie.
And I love that they stuck with that.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it only affects bots. Denny's just having a really, really bad day.
Yeah.
He was just really excited that he found the exit. And he couldn't even have 1 minute.
That was my second
Not even
favorite.
1 minute.
It's the Hunchback of Notre Dame thing.
I know.
Dang it. It's pretty much that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they have to go explore the caves and find the con signals.
did
And I
anybody
love
else-
that. Go ahead.
No, did anybody else look when Danny was up against like the wall doing his Mission Impossible thing that he was doing her Kronk theme song?
He's
that,
making
like,
his own theme music.
Yes.
I'm so glad I was knocked out for this. But I love that he could see like dinosaur bones at the bottom, and I was like,
Yeah.
Predacon bones.
Yeah.
something. Like
Totally.
I was kind of going like, Discovery. No, we're not gonna say anything. Okay,
No,
cool, that's
we're
fine.
just gonna move
All right,
on.
we're just gonna move on. Okay.
I know the gag is dinosaurs, and we had dinosaur footprints and
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
but seriously, no, Predacon
Yeah.
bones, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think that's exactly what it is. Because, I mean, we have seen throughout this show that they give us just like those little bits and they don't address them. They just have them. They're subtle. They kind of gloss over them and we all go, no, wait.
Come back.
Is that a heavy implication or a gag that we're overanalyzing?
Yeah.
I think so.
The
One,
writers
half
just
a
poking
dozen
us
of
with
the
a
other.
stick.
Yeah.
It's just like, eh.
Still really like this.
Yeah.
We're just gonna take it away.
See, fix its backstory.
Yes.
But we're getting there. Exploring the caves. And how much paint did they get from the ranger station?
Right?
Because
That's what
that
I
came
was
about
thinking.
in
I
like
know.
episode 4,
I
and
know.
it keeps coming up.
Maybe they went back and just took everything.
I know.
And we just didn't see it.
I'm sorry, this ranger station seemed to have an awful lot of paint. Like, what does the ranger station need all of this paint for?
You know what happens? The rangers restock, and then they come by and go, "Oh, there's more paint," and
Yep,
take it.
and they
the
just
rangers
take it.
come back like,
Where's our paint?
What are they going to Costco for all this paint? That's a lot of paint.
That is a lot.
Yes.
Costco membership.
Yes, but
Maybe it's
Costco.
discounted.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Roz Mystica 01 in the chat while we're on the topic of paint did bring up, hey girls, they used the glowing paint again. Continuity.
"Yes, that works."
Yep.
I'm very proud that they have that.
I also
bringing
it's
it.
worth. Robots in Disguise is really good at internal continuity.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Much the same way that Prime was.
Very much so.
I love that. Thank you for making sense.
Yes.
Yay!
Nice.
I did love when they were using the glowing paint to sort of mark their trails in the caves. How Denny very clearly was like, all right, everyone's going to mark your path and we're all going to have our own unique symbols. Mine is going to be a D in a circle.
And everyone else is just like, okay, gross. Thanks, guys. I did love that Sideswipe basically graffitied his face on the wall.
I was just like, so Sideswipe. But what was Bumblebee's? Was it just an arrow?
Bumblebee's was almost like a carrot, like a side, C-A-R-A-T, sideways arrow. And then Strong Arm did the arrow with the tail. And
Okay.
They both did it pointing
I don't
the way
think
out,
Grimlock
which was
even got
smart.
a chance to put anything
I
else.
know.
he was too busy running into
The cave.
stalactites.
Yep.
Would it have been easier for him to go outside of his Dinobot mode to walk around, or would it have just
I
been
don't
that?
know.
No, I was going to say, I think he's
Okay.
actually taller in his humanoid form
Yeah, 'cause
because
it's a little bit
he's
different.
standing more upright than he is as a
Yeah,
T-Rex.
he has that natural helpful hunch.
Yeah.
I like that.
Just comes in handy sometimes.
When I get old, that's what I'm going to call my hunch. It's a helpful hunch.
They all basically get wiped out by something that shows up right the heck out of nowhere.
I know.
And then Russell and Fix-It at the entrance. Russell being left to essentially babysit Fix-It. And I
Yeah.
love that they very much established, it's not you I'm worried about, it's him.
Yeah.
So we need you to take care of him.
Yeah, I liked that too. I generally like the whole storyline for both of the human characters in this episode. I really liked Russell's storyline. I really liked Denny's storyline. And I really liked that ultimately it was about the fact that they have really bonded now.
Yeah.
I loved in the beginning when they were having the conversation about when Fix-It and Denny and Bee had gone off to search for Energon in the beginning. And I loved the quote where Denny was worrying about how he's missed out on Russell's childhood
gosh.
years and he's growing up
I
so
wrote that
fast.
down. Scientifically, statistically, and genetically, he will always be your son.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's super cute.
I know.
Fix it.
Yeah. So there was just some really nice interaction between Denny and Russell, and also between them and Fix-It mostly.
Yeah. They're a great little trio.
They are.
Three
Yeah.
great tastes that taste great together.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cute that Fix-It got bot bumps.
I
He was so
know.
uncomfortable with the cave that he's like, I have bot bumps. And I was like, I don't. That's adorable.
No, that's
Can
funny
you
'cause,
do that?
I was babysitting at the same time I was watching this episode. So there was a kid next to me who goes, bots don't get bumps. And I was like, in my brain I was like, wait. No, and I was like, oh wait, no, they were getting. Strong Arm was getting hives essentially.
Yeah.
In, what was that, episode 5 or 6 or
was
something
a while
like that?
back.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, yeah, and I explained that to the kid, and obviously he was like, no,
Yeah,
I'm like,
whatever.
you don't understand. It's alright.
Like, you know nothing, Jon Snow.
Just while we're on the topic
Are
of
you okay over there? She's not okay. This is not the Game of Thrones after show, so we're staying away from that. You were saying.
I was just going to bring up that since we were talking about the humans, Yellow Bumblebee 32 in the chat says, anyone else feel that these are the strongest written human characters in Transformers? And I have to say, I
disagree. Prime.
Yeah, I was gonna say Prime humans for me were mostly strongly written.
I agree that the Prime humans were also extremely strongly written. I'm just saying that I think they have continued
Yes.
to write
Yes.
very strong, interesting human characters
Yes.
through this show as well. And I like that we're seeing, because I feel like the adults in Prime, a lot of them were kind of military personnel, and it's kind of nice to see, with the exception of
and
Jack's
June,
mom,
yeah,
of course.
yes.
But I like seeing, just like Denny being a regular kind of dad. Like, it's fun.
He's a dorky dad.
Yeah.
My dad in the Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Hey man, I love that Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
I like that his story was actually relatable.
Yeah,
believable
totally.
Because usually it's him weaving some tall tale and everyone buys it, and it's just like, you're not that good an actor, and that's why we've relied on this fan club theory for so long.
Yeah.
But I love that it was just, I know the caves. I am super lost. It was pretty great.
Yeah.
So we finally get an idea on our con. Night Strike.
Yeah, man.
name.
I know.
name.
Cool name, cool bot. Loved it.
I love that.
Great. And look at the backs of the wings were what got it for me. Just the pattern.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
Looked really good. Bentley, he paralyzes his foe with a sonic scream that, oh, wow, I did not write this word for word. And I nearly dictated something that's not air appropriate.
Oh, all right.
But it affects the fear center of the robot brain and makes
Yes.
them live their worst nightmares.
Yeah. It was kind
And then sucks on their
He's
energy.
like a
It's a
vampire.
vampire bat.
yeah,
Yeah, he's a
pretty
vampire
much.
bat.
Yeah.
He's a vampire bat with scarecrow abilities.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say.
do love that he was just so classy about it. One does what one must to get the energon one needs to survive.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom Kenny.
Yeah.
Evidently, it's Tom Kenny. You don't really think of that when you hear that voice.
Yeah.
You think of SpongeBob or Starscream.
Yeah.
Usually SpongeBob for me.
Usually, yeah, I was gonna say mostly SpongeBob.
He's Starscream and animated, and you can kind of hear the SpongeBob
Oh,
in that
dear.
because animated Starscream is also very much Gen 1 Starscream. They're very similar.
nice.
That makes more sense now.
And so it's just listening to that, like, yeah, that's SpongeBob doing that voice. This is
See, I can't mix SpongeBob and Transformers. That's just weird for me. It's just strange.
Starbob Scream Pants.
No, don't do it.
StarBob Scream Pants.
My friend
a
drew
new
a
fandom
fan
is
art
born.
of SpongeBob Starscream, and it was amazing. I have to show you.
No.
Starbob Scream Pants.
No.
Remind me, I'll put it on Twitter.
All right.
Yeah, so we get to see everyone's worst nightmares. And
Yes.
I called a few of these, like, Bees was the destruction of Crown City,
Yeah.
and Optimus
Yes.
showing up to be the ultimate disappointed dad.
I know.
I came back from the dead to tell you that you suck.
I was like initially.
Not mad. I'm just incredibly
We
disappointed.
Yeah. No, it's true. There was
Really?
no anger. It was just, I am disappointed in you, Bumblebee.
You were not ready for command. You are not capable of leading. I wrote it down
was
because
like,
I wrote it all in caps because it's Optimus Prime. But it was just like,
And the way
dang.
the way that it was kind of set up reminded me of The Lion King, except
Yes!
the message was not positive at all. It was just like, you failed. You can't do this.
Well,
We're
Optimus
done.
showing up in the series has always been
Yeah,
very
Mufasa.
Mufasa, remember who you are, and involving reflective surfaces.
Yeah.
So, which is honestly why you spend most of the first episode going, he is hallucinating.
B is not all up there.
And again, I wish they'd played with that for much longer, but whatever. That's Bees. Strong Arms is being potentially wrongfully pursued by cops and being a disgrace to the force.
I knew that was gonna be her like worst nightmare. Was like the cops like saying that she did something really terrible and they have to bring her in.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
You're a disgrace to the force.
I'm just noticing a theme. It's like
Yes.
you failed me yet again, Bumblebee. and yeah, I'm just her just failing the force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sideswipe's worst fear is the 405.
Yeah, that was literally what I wrote down. I was like, Sideswipe's worst fear is being stuck in traffic on the 405 during rush hour.
When that came up, I was like, I relate. I relate so well to you right now. And then it just kept getting smaller, and I was like, no, I don't like this.
No.
I
don't
love
like
the
this.
execution of this because they went on the other side of the fourth wall to show this fear. And Megan pointed out it's claustrophobia.
It is.
Yeah, it is
Really
claustrophobia.
bad claustrophobia.
Yeah.
Makes
And the
sense.
fact that they were making the frame smaller, and I just
Yeah.
That
I
was
want to
so
see the
great.
storyboarding for this.
Yeah,
I want to know
that
who
was
came up with
great.
that idea because
Also,
so well executed.
For people in the chat and who are watching, the 405 is just a highway that's literally just a parking lot.
Yeah, it's not.
We're not
it's,
over exaggerating. It's actually very
It's
true.
not a freeway. It's a parking lot that sometimes they let you exit after hours and hours and hours of sitting there.
And occasionally it's under construction, and that's a
No,
special kind of.
Occasionally, I think it's always under
Oh,
construction.
I'm talking about
different
straight
parts.
up Carmageddon.
Yeah, oh,
I was
God,
on
that
the road during Carmageddon. That
Really?
was bad.
Oh.
Yeah, I was
bad.
coming back from Gallifrey and I got stuck in it.
I feel like you have a story later. Not now,
That was
but I'm very
essentially
curious
it.
about
I was
Carmageddon.
coming back from Gallifrey and I got stuck in Carmageddon, and that was.
And it's not cool.
Fun.
It might sound cool, but it really is not.
Yeah.
It's basically that first, 10 seconds of Sideswipe's nightmare is just being stuck in unmoving, angry cars. That's what it is.
I've seen people who've gone to Carmageddon and actually bring a grill and actually cook out on the freeway. I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, do I have a hot dog?
I just want to point out Beast Wars fan says that Sideswipe shouldn't come to Toronto. Apparently.
Sideswipe shouldn't come to LA either.
Yeah.
Or DC or Boston.
New
just-
York.
Yeah. Anything that's
Chicago.
Yeah. No major metropolitan cities for
no.
Sideswipe.
Except for Crown City, which doesn't seem to have traffic.
at all.
You just kind of Kanye shrug it out here. It's the best you can do.
Yep.
Fix-Its killed me.
Oh, Fix-It's made me so
Because
sad.
we don't have context yet. We still don't have Fix-It's backstory. And
killing
we
me.
have, and I wrote it down, some big deep voice saying outmoded, outdated, unreliable, obsolete.
Did anybody get a Wally feel?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
That's
bit.
what I was getting.
Only a little bit Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah.
That really
definitely
terrifying
Brave Little
junkyard.
Toaster.
Side note, I have not seen all of Brave Little Toaster because it was too much.
It's very
Yeah,
emotional.
for a
much.
kids movie, it'll mess you up.
Yeah.
Yes.
The giant hands just pushing him back,
Oh,
shoving him
hurt
toward
me.
the dump, and it's like that's where you stay.
Also, I don't know if anyone's seen Inside Out. There's
Yes.
yeah, that's also another
Oh, with
scene.
the I didn't even think of the.
Oh yeah, that was the first thing.
No.
I'm not gonna ruin the scene for you because
So
it's very
sad.
important. But if you see Inside Out, you will relate. It's just
my.
That just
it
tugged at my
rips out.
heartstrings.
Yeah, no, it rips out your heartstrings and just goes.
We don't have context for this. We don't know what Fyffe's backstory is. We know that something happened to him to make him the way he is now.
Yeah.
We don't know if it happened before or after the Alchemore. We don't know if the council shoved him on the Alchemore because he was broken.
Right.
I
Right.
wouldn't be
That was my
surprised.
prediction.
And that would definitely feed into this, is people
Yes.
just getting rid of him and him just trying to protest and not being able to spit it out. And it's like, oh my God. This is just
Yeah.
Yeah.
that hurt.
That
That was Prime style string destruction. I'm losing words. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And then we finish with Grimlocks, where he's terrified of the same tiny kid we saw
kitty.
earlier.
Freaking adorable. I was like, wow.
It was good that was last.
We needed that levity because we had to come off of that to go back into the real world and our chase scene with Night Strike.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
You
it was
can't
crazy.
end on Fix-Its.
No.
It's just,
Nope.
oh.
No.
Nope, you need that lighthearted humor.
Yeah.
Not to belittle his fear.
No,
but
not at all. But I mean, especially as we've established with the tone of this show versus Prime, this is a more lighthearted show.
Yes.
Prime would have ended on Fix.
And then like next episode.
Deal with it.
And also
That would've
everybody
been like, we're ending this episode here, and then the next episode you get to deal with the ramifications of that, and the next episode after that you get to deal with the ramifications. You know exactly which ones I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right
please
now.
don't. Please. I don't want to think about it.
Yep.
let's just focus on the now.
Yeah.
Little kitties chasing up Grimlock up a tree.
Yeah. I like. Yes.
Speaking of focusing on the now, let's talk about iTunes. Because the Podcast One survey is over, thanks to everyone who took that, but we don't need to talk about that anymore. This is not the survey you're looking for.
Oh my word.
Thank you so much to everyone who has listened on iTunes, subscribed, rated, reviewed, all of that fun stuff. We love, love, love getting your reviews. Occasionally we run contests based on them, as you would have noticed last week, so awesome. And yeah, if you guys like what we're doing, if you like us sitting here and talking about giant robots for the better part of an hour,
Yep.
subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on YouTube, leave comments, rate us, give us 5 stars because you love us. You love us, of course you do. I'm going to take that for granted. Because it lets our bosses know that, hey, these people are doing a good job and we would like for them to continue to talk about giant robots in the future. So your feedback helps us stick around here and talk about Autobots and Decepticons and make horrible jokes about Autobots who may not have survived until this series.
That is true.
I'm not a good person.
Yeah. We do have a new review from June 22nd.
Oh, let's hear
Yeah,
it.
you want to hear it? It's really nice. It's by Fuzzy Pink Bumblebee.
I love your name.
And Fuzzy Pink Bumblebee says, it's really awesome to find more female fans of this Transformers show, being the same myself. It's also really nice how you guys are generally very positive about the episodes, never getting unnecessarily angry over small details. Plus, I find you all to be, all caps, very funny.
Yes, but looks aren't everything.
Seriously, I always laugh more than once watching your guys' after show. Keep up the good work, guys, and I'm excited to see what you all think of future Robots in Disguise episodes. I await your tears and the inevitable fear that sets in.
What does that mean? I don't like this.
Well, that's gonna be a thing.
I know how
Thank
much
you,
I'm
love you.
tears.
That's very nice. I'm gonna go home and cry now.
I'm trying to hold it
sheer
back right
terror.
now.
In this moment.
So thank you, Fuzzy Pink Bumblebee, and also thank you, Cute Bunny 8604,
What is with these
who
names?
keeps saying really nice stuff about us in the chat roll.
Thank you.
I can't
point.
see you, but I love you.
We like you and we appreciate you watching our show and saying nice things about us.
So let's go ahead and finish up with the Benny Hill of Decepticon.
Right? I'm so glad I wasn't the only one that felt that way.
We needed to cue up the theme, but it was actually pretty well staged, is not the right word, but really good action, really good. Again, I would have loved to have seen the storyboards for this. But Russell shows up and is kind of gesturing to Denny like, keep him talking, keep him talking. And Denny going, we have a rescue party looking for us right now. Well, I doubt that, but, I'll go prepare just in case. Like, oh, you're such a classy vampire waiting for guests.
He is,
let's
though.
get people out of here. It's very much the Vlad Dracula classy vampire voice, and it's super interesting.
I liked it. I thought it was a great choice for the vocal direction on this character.
Oh,
I completely agree.
And again, you wouldn't think of Tom Kenny, but there you go.
Yeah.
And so we have Russell chipping away at the cocoons with a cocoon. Is that the sludge with a rock?
I would kind of call it a cocoon of sorts.
Some
Yeah,
sort.
cocoon.
It's like Alien.
Yeah.
It is like Alien. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
It was all very horror movie, and that was pretty great.
I loved it. I mean, we kind of passed over it, but when they were starting to disappear off the comm,
Yeah.
I was like, such horror movie trope. Like,
It totally
It
was.
was great. I was like,
Yes.
oh, what's gonna happen next?
I did like, though, that when they were disappearing, this is just going back to that same scene, how Russell was so convinced that his dad was fine.
Yeah.
I liked that. As I said, I really enjoyed all the Russell Denny stuff in this episode, but I really liked that Russell was very convinced in that his dad was going to pull through, and also that when they were all in the cave with the cocooned bots, that Russell and Denny had to be the heroes.
They played off of each other so
Yeah, they
well.
did.
It was
So
well. Funny.
I feel like their teamwork has just gotten so much better.
yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
obviously our dream team over here is obviously still having some problems. But I like that the humans are still they're always on the same level, even though we saw from the first episode that the relationship was kind of rocky.
All they need is 2 words, and they know what to do next.
just going back and forth, and one of them chipping away while the other one distracts the giant bat, and then Russell leading him back, and Denny just going, shift change, throwing it back in the air and sprinting.
That was my favorite moment.
Oh
I
my
think.
god, I laughed so hard.
Oh.
What?
Yellow
What
Bumblebee
happened?
32 says, are the cocoons made of bat guano?
Ah.
And everyone's like, ew, gross. Sorry, I just saw Ace
Interesting
Ventura
theory.
recently, so I was like, ah. We're on the same level.
One other
Hope
thing
not.
that we got in this sequence was, the last little bit of Legion of Spiders down there.
Yeah.
And B setting him free and saying, look, I know we're enemies, but you gotta help the humans. They're not involved with this. And they're kind of the reason that we're all getting out in the first place.
Yeah.
And he, has a slight change of heart and throws a bucket of paint
I
at the
know.
bat. And they're just like,
And it
see
just
ya.
perfectly just...
Right across the eyes.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
I liked that the little bot Righty is what he's referred to. He
Because he's the arm.
yeah, he's the arm.
okay.
Yeah,
That
Righty.
makes more sense.
No, I loved that Righty. I felt that the amount of assistance that Righty provided was
The right amount.
The right amount. Yeah.
Not to be punny there.
Not to be funny.
Hey.
Sorry, Megan.
No, that was beautiful. And yeah, I think you're right. Because, yeah.
We think you're correct.
No, she's right.
She is
Always.
And Alexis is just like, God, why?
Yep.
I'm okay.
He obviously wouldn't throw in completely with the Autobots.
No,
but,
of
course not.
I owe you one for getting me out of here intact.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was pretty great. I'm still laughing over shift change.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so great.
Best part.
Shift change.
And then
I want to
getting
try that at
everyone
work
out.
one day.
You should.
Yeah.
Just don't throw anything fragile in the air.
Throw like a binder in the air. Shift change. No one's going to catch it, but I'll feel good for a second.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go over super well.
Super duper well.
I think it'd be great.
And then they all turn off their audio receptors. They beat the daylights out of that
I'm sorry.
bat.
Yep.
What?
Shut up. You knew that gag was coming.
Of course.
That was so telegraphed.
I
Yeah.
really wanted all of them to say it, but I was just happy that Grimlock did it.
I
It
thought
would be grim.
I was gonna say I thought I really liked that it was just Grimm because it could have been cheesy and out of control if it was everybody else, but since it was just Grimm, who we have established previously in this episode and in previous episodes, doesn't always remember what the plan is.
Oh my God, Strong, are we okay?
It was a prank.
Yeah, it made perfect sense, and
Yes.
it was a genius idea to all turn off their audio receptors because it was a sonar attack.
Yeah.
That Night Strike was using to, paralyze and capture them all. So.
And also, how bad A was that pan of them when he like?
Yeah.
So cool. I was just like, yeah, they can't do anything wrong. Maybe.
Then it came back around from Denny saying, he's just giving me a headache. I wish I had earplugs.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, there's a thought.
Totally.
And we also come back around at the end with, you're right, Russell, you don't get scared. Now I was terrified.
Yeah.
And just I was afraid of losing you.
Oh,
Like,
it
is
was
that
great
the reverse
music.
It was
Mufasa?
such a great little sentimental moment.
That is the reverse Mufasa.
It was.
It was.
I wrote my note on that was just all caps cuteness in the end. That's, I couldn't remember what.
going, well, I'm not afraid of cat.
Yes!
This episode was really, really good at bookending things.
Yes.
It was, yeah. I felt that it was a very solid episode from beginning to end. There was a nice story arc, and we had nice callbacks in the end from the beginning of the episode.
Yes.
Yeah, very tightly written, very well executed.
Yeah.
This one was just good.
Yeah.
And I'm still kind of going, tell me more about Fix It, tell me more about it.
Which is funny that you bring that
Yes.
up. DBC King 02 says, I think Fix It is Unicron reincarnated. And I was like, whoa, we're getting into something totally different there. Yikes. Whoa.
I am Unicron.
Oh, no.
Something has
Well,
happened.
and there's also the fact that we kind of took care of that. Plus, given timelines, the Alchemor was probably floating around before the end of the war.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not really a way to do that, given what we've seen from Unicron.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think retreading back to Unicron, for one, if they don't want to do any direct references to Prime, there's almost no way to bring Unicron up without being, and then this happened, and then there was this,
Yeah.
and then season one, and
Totally.
you just can't.
Yeah.
So as fun a theory as that is, I think it's just that. I don't think it's going to have any actual bearing on what goes down.
Yeah.
We're kind of into predictions, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes.
Can we get the predictions roll? Can we get the laser light show?
I love the Laser That show. It's my favorite.
Now, you're AfterBuzz
I love the light
TV.
show. And everyone who listens on iTunes is like, what
What?
the heck are you talking
That's why
about?
you should go and hang out on the YouTube video.
On the YouTube.
Watch all our pretty faces, see all our creative shirts and our dumb remarks.
Yeah, we had some pretty awesome shirts this
had
week.
some
I know we do.
shirts
I feel
this
like I need to
Go
I need
around.
to
Go
move
around
my
and
laptop.
show.
Okay.
So I have on this real nice Transformers 80s purple situation shirt. I got it at Amazing Las Vegas Comic-Con, which is where I was last weekend, and that's why I was not here.
Very
Yes,
nice.
that was her special mission with Meredith Prime.
Yes.
Yes. With Meredith Prime.
You know she is.
She totally is.
You know she is.
No, yeah, I'm like the Bumblebee to her Optimus Prime.
Kind of are.
Oh my god, you kind of are. Wow. I'm having a Grimlock moment. I'm like,
And then Alexis has a good shirt on too.
I love this shirt. This came from the Loot Crate
Cyber. Yeah.
And it's literally just Tron, but Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Nice.
Michelle's rocking some classics over
Heck
here.
yes.
I am rocking
Darkwing Duck.
the Darkwing Duck. It says, I am the terror that flaps in the night on the back. This was donated to me by a friend in college.
Amazing.
And I'm keeping it for forever.
As you should.
Yes.
And I went to TeePublic and got this lovely Five Nights at Freddy's shirt that says
I
"Get
love
your
it.
night, Nope o'clock, fifth night."
Yeah.
I usually
love
just
it.
say Nope o'clock all the time.
I know, me too. And so I saw that and I went, I have to do it. It's everything I say, and the game that traumatized me for months.
Which she is now putting me through.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah, but we can't do it right now because you can hear those screams
Don't
through
do
the
it.
whole apartment and it'll terrify the cat.
Oh, that's right.
That is your only reprieve from Five Nights at Freddy's is the fact that we have a very skittish cat. We are super off topic. We're going to talk
are.
about predictions.
Yes.
Sorry.
Definitely what we were talking about earlier with Fix It was that the fact that it was like a Wall-E kind of moment that they
Yeah.
were just throwing him on the ship because he was out of date. That's what I was getting from.
Outmoded, outdated,
Yeah.
unreliable, obsolete. So you go out to the furthest reaches of the galaxy
Yeah.
with literally nobody to keep you company and a whole bunch of criminals where if you ever have a
Yeah.
mechanical failure, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, the reason I thought of that was because I don't know anybody who watches the CW, the 100 show, but that's pretty much what they did with their prisoners. They were like, well, we don't know if Earth is inhabitable, so we'll just throw some prisoners on Earth.
Is that where the people came?
Yeah.
Yep. So they treated the whole of Earth like Australia.
Pretty much.
Basically. Yeah.
Space Australia.
It is Space Australia.
That's actually what it
is. It's totally Space Australia. But no, I think that's a really good theory, Alexis, that, you know, that's that something to do with Fix-It's past is why he ended up being the sort of prisoner supervisor, if you will, on Malcolmore in the first place.
Yep.
And I still want to know what happened to him and what the timeline was for that. Because if it was before the end of the war, then it was probably also before Cybertron went down.
Yeah.
So that is a long, long time ago, and that's a long time to be drifting in space. And again, I think that's the reason because, again, we've never heard of Nuon City, we've never heard of Underbite, we've never heard of anyone who's in here, despite the fact that they all have supposedly big names. True. Because the Thunderhoof and Underbite should have come up. Steeljaw, we don't know why we don't know anything about Steeljaw.
No.
And I don't know that we ever will.
I
To be
know.
completely
I hope
honest,
not.
I'm okay with not knowing.
Really? I would like to know. But that's just me being a knowledge sponge and wants to know everything.
I mean, I would like to know. It would be fun, but honestly, he's strong enough without it.
No, I completely agree with you. That's just me being nitpicky.
And I do want to see more Khan team up because holy cow.
Yeah.
I'm still not over how stupidly good that episode was.
Yeah, that was
So good.
That was my favorite episode so far.
So far.
Yeah, I think that's the case for most of us, that episode just blew all of us away.
It did. And it's what we all kind of wanted, too, was just seeing that giant battle and team up. And then, obviously, we're going to get more of that as time goes on.
Yes.
But
I think we are,
that
too.
was first glimpse.
And it was like, yes, this is what we need.
Yes.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
And then we don't know what's going on with Optimus either. Because the implication is that we thought that the prison ship was going to be the big focus, but it's entirely possible that's just a distraction tactic.
Yep.
We don't know what he's training for. We don't know what the primes can see or if they're just screwing with everyone.
Yep.
We don't know if the Alchemore was brought down on purpose.
Yeah.
And by whom.
Yep. Again,
So,
Earth, Australia.
Prediction, though. Do we all predict that Optimus will be making an appearance this season?
oh yeah.
I think by the last couple of episodes, yes.
Yeah.
I think we are going to have that in. I'm sure we'll have at least a 2 or 3 parter for the end. Of course. And I am sure that Optimus will show up.
Yeah.
That is Chekhov's Jesus.
Hey, man, I just wanted to pick your brains, see what you guys thought.
I am totally with that. I honestly think he will. I would like to think that he would because that would be super fun.
Yeah.
And you don't lay the... It's the team that did Prime. They don't lay the groundwork for anything and then just, whoop, we're done,
I would be a
goodbye.
little surprised if he didn't at all, in some capacity.
I mean, I didn't know if the writers were going to keep poking the bear and like go, no, he's not showing up. And you're like, why?
Here's a little bit more Optimus. We're done now.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some Optimus this episode.
If he...
He was hallucinatory.
Yes, he was, but we
Still
got
in the
it.
episode.
And
I
again,
count it.
he was
Check it off.
hallucinatory in the season premiere as well.
Totally.
He's often hallucinatory.
And technically in the opening titles, he's just in space.
Space Jesus.
Yep. I'll take it.
That's,
Check it off.
Yeah.
That's it. Were you saying something?
No, I was just going to say that if we don't actually physically see Optimus, we will get more of a sense of what's going on with him, I think, by the end of the season. Because, as you mentioned, Katie, there's a really smart team behind this. These are not just people who are writing one-off episodic, you know, I hate to say like run-of-the-mill kids fodder.
This was not the team for Armada.
No.
The lowest of bars, but nonetheless.
Yes. So yeah, I think that even if we don't physically see Optimus, we will have a better sense of what is happening in his life or lack thereof.
How is his training with King Kai?
Seriously.
So does anyone have any last thoughts on this episode before we wrap?
No, I just can't wait to see your faces for next week.
More kittens. More kittens.
Always.
And more kittens, always.
Yep.
I would be up for more kittens. I would be up for more pretty much everything. I would be up for more backstory.
Yeah.
Because, hey, that's something that I haven't let go of at all. Anyway, Alexis, where can the people find you?
You can find me all over the interwebs as ATorres890. You can also, if you love this face, you can see me for Geek Nerd Tech on our sister network, BlackHollywoodLive.com. I talk about video games and pop culture and things.
I'm Emma Fyffe. You can find me on Twitter at Emma Fyffe. You can see me on a couple shows here at AfterBuzzTV.com. Sailor Moon Crystal. This show returning on July 28th. It will be Face Off. Alexis is on that show too. That was where our beautiful friendship began. I'm also on the Popcorn Talk. You can watch me on the Cosplay Coach on Wednesdays at 4:00 p.m. And if you're gonna be at Anime Expo this weekend or this next weekend, hang out with me. I'm going to be there doing press coverage for AfterBuzz along with Miss Katie.
Nice. I'm Michelle Cullen. You can find me on the Twitter at Michelle_Cullen.
And I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. You can also find me on Snapchat at Kia Prime. I am on the Red vs. Blue after show. We have an episode tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific, so tune in. We're going to have interviews. It will be a glorious thing. I will also be at Anime Expo with the Emma this weekend. And I will be at San Diego Comic-Con next weekend because I am not busy enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. You know we love to have you. And as always, transform and roll out!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.